Welcome back to Ninja of Persia, Marco the Ninja in Tabriz, where our protagonist is following Dosan, but we don't know much about him in the main game. Luckily there was a DLC included in the special edition and now in the remaster, which came just recently on GOG, 2 years later than on Steam, and for those 2 years it was impossible to buy the DLC separately, but it was a free upgrade if you bought special edition on time, including developer commentary. In any case, let's go back 50 years in Tabriz with a young Dosan in this extra level called The Tale from the Past. In days past, a young Dosan was sent to Tabriz to deal with bandits who have put the clan's future at risk. And if you try to play this without having progressed in the main story, the game warns you with a continue. The level is intended to be challenged. If you haven't played about half of the main game levels, you may want to do that first. So let's leave the narration to Dosan.
It was, 50 years ago that I paid a visit to that fortress outside Tabriz. The only place on Earth where the plants that make our tattoo ink will bloom. We had struck a deal with some bandits. We would watch over their exports to the east, and in return, they would guard our plants. But in time, they learned of the true value of the plants, and like vermin, they turned on us. The clan sent me there to straighten them out.
A hidden path. I still remember the taste of dust. Dosan's place completely different, despite having the same model and similar animation. Path of Wisdom. You have a non-lethal takedown and can carry more of each of your items. However, you have no sword, you cannot use Farsight, and focus will not stop down. So, Dosan is treated as a costume.
I never carried a sword. It was pride, really. Back then I could bring down anyone with my bare hands.
Changing playstyle with non-lethal takedowns. And if another guard sees the unconscious friend, he will help him out.
One has fallen.
And they will get, of course, more agitated, moving faster, and also becoming very confused if you
Maybe he fled.
put them on the wrong platform, because now his path was up here, so he's just turning left and right. But still in the darkness, won't notice us. Also, we can jump quite long distance. Which will make for last second saves. That was close. So no leap of faith, but we can still do it ourselves and get an indirect kill. I already went out of character. Let's see if it turns on me. Yeah, I can just jump in front of him without penalty. Of course the music will kick in, but if we don't get the point penalty, it's all good. And now we get our first. Of course we don't have the mark, so we don't have the ability to see traps or stop time. This one we can take aim. The guard will still move as usual, but we get 2 new items. The first is the Dusk Moths, a cloud of insects that blocks targeted lights and disables struck enemies.
Dusk moths. Perfect for creating shadows without arousing suspicion.
And you notice that you don't stop time from the fact that if I enter the focus mode, the voice line do not stop. So time is going on as usual. And we get these nice tamed moths helping us with the lights. And so we enter Tabriz, which we'll see soon in the main story. We need to reach the ruined fortress to secure the supply of our ink. Down there we have a guard, but our pet moths can go a long way. So we can just use it to disable the guard and then, well, disable more thoroughly. So I got the first seal, knock out an enemy after stunning them with Dusk moths. Here we have a trap, which you can use to disable the guards. Of course, no harms done. This guard is still perfectly fine, just unconscious. Actually, the third one, use a suspended block trap to terrify a bandit. So this time, I'm going to do the opposite. Actually, of course, if you want to do perfectly stealthy, you can just hide here.
They never knew I had their lives in my hands.
And, well, if you want to do this. Now I guess if I call the attention of this guard, I should be able to notice. Yeah.
We're coming for you.
So this guard is now terrorized.
He got someone.
And terrorized guard will shoot. Yeah. We shoot blindly.
We're coming for you. Here.
And actually hit me. But the health will be refilled at checkpoints. If you are not discovered, health is not an issue. And we move on. So that was close. So we have the equivalent to the gas mask guards. Then we have probably night vision goggles, which giving them a longer vision cone.
The tunnels are shrouded in lantern smoke and shadow. Stand still too long, and you would feel the scorpions picking at your toes.
I see him.
I came back here for the artifact. And for some reason, it didn't notice me. So the night vision goggles, if I had some flares, would be very effective. Of course, we don't have the mark, so we cannot know. We do not know these traps where they are connected to. Instead of in Tabriz, instead of the lasers of the Hessian complex, we have these chains and ropes like these, which you can use to hit the guards.
What was that? Nothing. When did this break? What's that noise?
So more traps.
Was it the wind?
More chances
This break.
to get a good indirect kill.
Mug, little monkey. You reach for the highest plum, but your grip is weak.
So here you can use Dusk mods, so just plain old bamboo dart. This side has traps. I guess we could just try. Yeah, that was close.
Nothing.
Also, instead of the plants, we have these strange stone structures, and they crumble when you leave.
Hey, it's him!
Can move on and get our second item. And this is the last unlockable item. The fungal spores creates a suffocating cloud. Fallen enemies become infected, and anyone who approaches will cause the spores to rupture again.
We discovered the fungus the first time we came to Debris. In the right hands, it's deadly and contagious. The plants grew in an ancient conservatory, but to reach them, I had to sneak through the old fortress where the bandits were holed up. It was built centuries ago by some Shah or other. Every hallway was filled with traps, and those bandits didn't know about half of them. But I did. I knew where to find the 3 levers that armed the traps. The first would reactivate a bunch of old gunpowder bombs. The second would fill all the fortress's narrow spaces with spikes. Finally, a trigger at the top of the fortress would cause the old fixtures and climbing points to collapse.
So in this place filled with traps, we can actually have control over them, giving even more impression that we are the hunter. Combat is the same. We just take down here.
He must have. What was that?
Of course, I wanted to do the take down with. Yeah, we have the grapple, what we can do, of course, any kill with it. And some of these platforms will actually crumble beneath our weight. So here we have our 3 objectives. I'll go to the left first. One of the seal is simply to pull 2 levers without being detected, but this doesn't say anything about using fungal spores. So we are immune, but the guards are not.
The storm will not hide you.
Dead guards cannot detect you, so while the ravenous insects, which probably come from the same region, they destroyed the body. The fungus spore actually kill a second guard. So we could disable the lights and all that, or we can just disable the guard instead. Also, there's no alarm. Since the disabled guards are not dead, there's no penalty for letting other guards discover the body.
Yes, come closer.
Trying to check up here. Nothing is more difficult because of the traps, but you have the good old chandelier, which you can use, for example,
Nothing.
to make the guards come all the way there, or
I heard something. Come
The main issue with Terroroid is that the guards make noise. So, fungal spores are better in this case. But now, both guards should go check it out. You can also just distract both guards. In case they are close, they will... just one of them will check the thing. But here there's actually nothing, aside from the traps. It was an alternative route. Yeah, now it's actually harder for us to sneak. We have snipers. Good old snipers. And the snipers are one-shot kills, but they are much less scary if you have the tools. Tools like these. But of course I could not reach him. And also time does not stop, so I cannot use my jump to extend the range of the fungal spores. So we can just... we have to go around. That part is, I guess, glass, because we cannot actually run up there. Just use the fungal spores. Of course, since we only have these items, the level is better. To reach the final level up there, we need to use switch. And now we're back where the sniper were. So we have a thinner plot doors than in the Hessian.
I couldn't leave the fortress until all the traps were armed.
Just as effective. Don't have the takedown from above. I don't think I can jump over him, but he can do some acrobatics. Let's just go down here first. We are back from where we started. So this trap yeah, it kills us. Kills us very much. So need to stay on the side. Very effective trap. And so we are trapped here. Also this floor crumbles. And these traps are fun. So, well, I guess I can show you the effect. Apparently we can actually run below the traps. Very, very neat cut. Yeah, I guess the death animation triggers only if you go through completely or if you stop in the middle. Anyway, so we have these darts. You need to jump up and down. Oh, almost. Let's see if it works like this. Oh, so we can just skip the whole ordeal.
The floors gave way below me. Knives flew by my ankles. I can't believe I never once feared I would die.
Yeah, keeping with the cartoon theme, there's no danger of death. You can also go around, you can also shoot these down, up to 3 at a time, of course. Yeah, but that happens. No, I think my jump is not far enough. Well, that was interesting. But there's also a vent here. Need to run because of these spikes we activated earlier. But I'm curious if I can. No, it's set just. I mean, we can do it, but with a bit of
What
damage.
kind of a madman needs this much security? It's not for me to question a Shah.
Azai is a Persian king with the same theme that we saw before with the intro cutscene. Remind me of Aladdin, which in turns comes from the Arabian Nights. So Persian theme, modern Iran through Disney animation. And now the vases will trigger. Well, with traps, as in Prince of Persia, if you have control over time, you can just reload. Actually, hiding behind vases works, but if the vases explode, of course. So we cannot. Traps are not trivial as with the marked one. We need to be much more careful. We need to really time it. And finally, open the switch. So we are back here when the trap happened. We got all the seals because we armed 2 of the fortress traps. We need to go back to the third one, which was up there. Speaking of names, if you Google Dosan, you get Saito Dosan. Was a historical figure. So if you know Japanese history, if you've been to school in Japan, you'll be familiar with the name, but it's still interesting to see that he's no relation to ninjas. He was a noble, daimyo, as they were called, the feudal lords. But he was not a noble by birthright. He was a monk originally, hence the character design, and then became an oil merchant. I guess from here the connection to the tattoos, which are made of oil and plant residues, burned plants and animal fat. He got the nickname the Viper of Mino when he managed to get control of the province. So I guess from here the ninja-like tactics. See if you can use, you can morbidly use the body as a bait. See if, guess he's not checking the body, so
Maybe he fled.
yeah, he checked the noise, not the body, technically.
Someone is here.
Yeah, and now we check the body. I mentioned last time that the environment is calling for the guards, not vice versa from a coding perspective. So the alarm point are actually sending signals out. But here I noticed that if we jump out, this guard will see us. But if we stay here and try to do a grapple, the other things will kill us. So either we are very fast or we wait for the spikes to go down. If you try to use the grapple while inside the vent, I guess the ninja will move and the result is a dead ninja.
I heard something.
The last trap was armed. It was time to infiltrate the conservatory.
He must be somewhere else.
Anyway, don't think there's anything else here. We are in the trap. But for completeness, I'll go around and actually get a kill like this.
We can see. Hey, here. Hey, it's him.
Oh well. Kills are too noisy. Anyway, it seems symmetrical. There's nothing more here. Just the other button. You can actually reach here and get a very well hidden artifact. And we're back. So we explore the whole building, whole Persian royal building, and we just need to go back here to move on. The plot door is now open. You actually cannot do anything from this side. We need to go up and move fast. There's an elephant on a column, usual well-made background.
Yes, come closer.
But there are also guards to take care of.
What's that noise?
So here, yeah. I was looking at the scroll, I completely ignored the trap, which is a pressure plate. So we just need to jump over it, jump over this, and get the scroll.
You only climb high because your hard monkey skull won't crack in a fall.
Now we can do some acrobatics to get out here. More traps this way. Also you can actually use these against the guards. The guards decides to come over here. Can blow up, but of course you will attract the guard and then
Someone is down.
sound the alarm.
Rest now. We will find him for you.
The guards take a while to gun you down, so
Hey,
of course the real challenge is to do everything without being detected.
we're coming for you.
You can chain kills this way, but of course other guards will come and so the situation escalates. Now we enter the conservatory, British term for greenhouse. It guarded the plants as the plants guarded our future. The ink is necessary to protect the clan.
There, in the conservatory, the chief had stationed his best, bravest men. I would leave them a gibbering, terrified mess. I had a choice. Terrify the chief's men, but leave them alive to tell the story. No doubt with great exaggeration. Or let the fear spread with blood and precision, leaving just a few terrified survivors.
So we have the split path, but it's not as black and white as before, between pacifist and murder. We can terrify 5 bandits or track down all these red crosses and kill them. Well, technically knocking them out. So since there's not an actual kill, the story is not as accurate as it sounded, but still. Regardless of what Dosan said, fiction is always embellished. So even though it just knocks them out, it might be told one day. the ninja killed all the elite guards. So here we have a second trap, but these elite guards are not particularly, well, probably the same elite product we use now.
When your fur turns gray, that light, brave heart will leave you. Mock death while you can.
So we completed the voice of the Hisomu, which in this case is just Dosan telling us how he lives. Very modestly as the monk background for the character was. So I'm going to try to throw this. Yeah.
Heard something. We have you now.
Sounded the alarm, but even if the guard is just disabled, it still works to terrify guards as long as the guards are seeing the action of throwing. So I leave the terrified guard there and go up this time. We'll go back down later. So now there are no more traps in the vents. We are in a greenhouse after all, even though conservatory is usually used to indicate, well, music school.
The roofs were tiled with old slates all overgrown with brambles. You could drop them on the beds and leave them standing. And if any of their friends saw, I knew they would run off in terror.
What was that noise?
Yeah, unconscious enemies may still die from a long fall.
He got someone! Dead. He's dead.
Yeah. We should have used an item here because they will go to waste. Of course, we don't have the option of choosing different items. I use the fungal spores on him when he's near the other one. So why is this one? I guess the the body, perfectly fine, unconscious body, is in the dark, so this guard needs a bit more help to get terrorized. And reloading actually, as in the sniffing dogs in the other mission, reloading resets the count. I need to go make the rounds again.
Hey.
We can also hang enemies, which was an upgrade in the main game,
Coming for you.
but there are plenty of these traps here. Bit not much variety, but still enough to get the job done. So I cannot stop time, so I cannot
No sign of
just jump and then point. I need to wait for the guard calm down. We can also repair trap, I believe. No, it doesn't work. And just try throwing.
It always made me sad when I hung the body in front of his own comrades. Sad when they saw he was gone, and sadder when they were too scared to care.
Too scared to care. For some reason there are no subtitles for that part, but you can use actually infected bodies as traps. Very effective. In opposition to the insect, which just destroyed the body. Wrong button. There's an artifact here. Went to check this room, but it's nothing. Already got the artifact up here. No. Here it is. And now I'm going to redecorate a bit.
Someone is... You cannot hide forever.
And the guard glitch out. Supposed to do a few steps backwards when he's terrorized, but
It's clear.
apparently it didn't work.
I heard that. They're coming for you.
Here it is.
Someone is down.
And you have more grapples. I don't think it can reach. No. So there's just one guard here. Still need to terrorize two, so I leave that one for in case of an emergency. I don't see more block traps. But here we have the end of the level. Of course, we cannot leave it yet. Leave yet. And go back in the glass house, greenhouse.
Hey, I see him.
Just accept the alarm at this point. I need to
He's still here. I know it.
get the objective.
We're coming for you.
Where is that guard?
No trace. But we will find. We're coming for you. I heard that.
Let's see if the guard notice it. No, it does not.
No sign of him here.
So I need to remind these guys that there's something here.
Someone is here. Come on. Show yourself. We're coming for you.
Okay, change of plans.
The wind covered his tracks.
Bring them a body. So now
Hey, it's him.
should work.
Where is he?
The nice greenhouse backdrop.
No trace, but we will find him.
Can't believe he's missed it.
We are coming for you. I heard that.
Finally,
Here, move it.
that one above, but not this one below.
for you.
Get out of there before I push my luck.
Finally.
That was it. Time to get out of there before I push my luck too far.
We got one of the objectives. Yeah, the same thing that Aura mentioned with the gas vents. We lost the trackers. Where's the last one?
That was the last of them. Time to go back. Down the torturous secret roads that led home. It was done. I had delivered a message to the chief and, well, we never had trouble with him again. I returned to the clan satisfied. The years passed, and I became curious about the ink that I had saved. I studied it and mastered its use. Nobody knows more of its secrets than I do, and nobody here values it more. The fate of the clan rests in those drops, and I will do whatever it takes to ensure our future.
Dosan is just too good for this game. So we see huge number of guards in this level. I missed the bonus. So they fixed the slight delay between the guards shouting and the official alarm from scoring perspective, though in game it's still like it used to be. Apparently now the point system remembers. Also in the commentary they mentioned that they forgot they calculated the levels to get the second, third token, so they had to reverse engineer that. Anyway, when you play cautiously, the scoring doesn't matter at all. But yeah, it doesn't change anything, so there's no difference.
That was the last of them. Time to go back. Down the torturous secret roads that led home.
This DLC, they try to make things more interesting. They try to raise the difficulty by creating more complicated spaces, adding more rooms, and double the number of guards, if not triple. Unfortunately, it reveals the limit of the system because the true challenge is when there's a interesting stealth puzzle to solve, and just adding guards is not creating an interesting puzzle, especially when you can just kill them one by one. We'll see in the main game how Tabriz is actually more interesting with less guards and still big environment. We are back here to Tabriz 50 years later. After going to Europe, we change scenery again. There's no one to turn to except Dosan, who has gone to Tabriz, the source of the clan's tattoo ink. Lowering ourselves from a grapple point was one of the unlocks that you get in the DLC no matter when you do it, although most of the upgrades are not present in the DLC. So these are those we unlocked. Last time we also had the cardboard box.
You can hide anywhere, anytime by squeezing into this cardboard box. It may seem crude, but surprisingly effective. I guess people just always expect there to be boxes lying around everywhere.
And the less funny ravenous insects, at least for the guard.
These flesh-eating insects can reduce dead bodies to dust in seconds. They can also attack a living target. But be careful. That poor soul will make a lot of noise before the insects finish them off.
So we have a double description from the description and from Aura, and now we have unlocked those in the DLC. The Dusk Moths.
We raise these large moths on plants with a dark, dense pollen. Release the moths, and they'll swarm to the nearest lights. And between their broad wings and the heavy pollen, it'll be dark as night, not to mention silent. The pollen also irritates the eyes and throat, should you choose to throw it at anyone.
So after this very long explanation from Dosan this time, the Dusk Moths are cloud and insects that block targeted lights and disable struck enemies, as we saw. And the Fungal Spores creates a suffocating cloud. Fallen enemies become infected, and anyone who approaches will cause the spores to rupture.
These fungal spores gestate in the lungs. Anyone who breathes these will suffocate in seconds. And if anything disturbs the body, the spores will rupture and spread again. And the hissing sound they make when they take root will draw in anyone who hears it.
So we'll use them for this level, but we also got 9 extra tokens from the DLC, so we could unlock Rising Snake or the Armor Sleeves. I'll keep the rest for later. So now we have a new style, the Path of Wisdom. You have a non-lethal takedown and can carry more of each of your items. However, you have no sword, you cannot use Farsight, and Focus will not stop time. So I'll start with this one, but then we'll go back to the cardboard box and the Ravenous Insect.
Before the restoration, as the other clans strayed and disbanded, a merchant sold us a secret. He led us to a flower whose petals burned with toxin.
Dosan's trail leads here, the source of the ink in your marks. If Azai has a secret, it's in there.
And after flashback to Azai's introduction to the ink.
These bandits are tricky and ruthless. Watch out for traps, and whatever you do, don't get caught. They'll torture you for days and let the insects finish you off.
So traps do not kill us, especially if you have created earth, but you have time to run from the cars, not so much from these things. Oh, that was a missed opportunity to put an artifact. Okay. Yeah, they will throw you around.
These bandits are tricky and ruthless. Watch out for traps, and whatever you do, don't get caught. They'll torture you for days and let the insects finish you off.
And now the platforms will start to fall, even the corners, some corners here.
The wood is rotting. The stone is crumbling. Does anyone still live out here?
50 years later, the present time, Tabriz is an abandoned city, it seems. But here we have already our first artifact. And of course I cannot use Farsight because of the style, because we are supposed to be Dosan's now from a style perspective. Actually, Dosan's was basically a style. So you cannot see where the traps lead. We'll change back soon. So now we need to work to get an artifact. It's not just lying around thanks to the traps. We have a checkpoint here. Of course, the trouble with the traps is that even if they're slow, they're making a lot of noise.
We got him. Come on, show yourself.
This room, but there's nothing aside from this platform which will crumble. So these are the bandits. Forgot that I don't have a sword. Let's see how they. Yeah, they don't have. This one didn't have voice lines, but they actually behave like the gas mask guards. They're supposed to have vision. They're night vision goggles. so flares will be helpful against them. Don't think it can reach me.
What was that? Hey, it's him.
So we can use these against the guards, because even though they do not trigger them if they're up, they will trigger them if they are on the floor for some reason. And of course time does not stop with this Dosan's costume.
He's here. He got someone. He's here.
So you can, if you don't care about the alarms, if you place the mines precisely, you can just have fun attracting enemies. But as I showed you before, you can just skip those.
It wasn't the wind. What was that?
This stupid sand. I can't see a thing. There are more traps inside. Remember to use the mark of Farsight, so you'll know what you're getting into.
The sunstone will limit our visibility, but of course we don't have Farsight, the DLC costume. So we have a room below us, and so before going to the sandstorm, I'll try to avoid these traps. Oh.
We got him.
It's not clear precise hitbox when they will trigger. Anyway, we did it and we can move on. Of course, without Farsight, I cannot tell which traps trigger what, but there's dart from the right, so I just jump. And of course the darts will knock over the mines. And we got the first.
My confession.
This had better be good.
A voice in my ear gives excuses in the tongue I do not speak. It is hot, and I am sinking. When did this break?
So that was Azai. With normal audio logs, it would be very weird to have Azai talking here. Of course, as a spiritual message, it makes sense. Keep forgetting that I don't have. Cannot do my usual kills. So I guess I need to use something.
Think I heard something. The wind covered his tracks.
The guard tripped.
You spotted at the edge of town.
Actually, we can do the ledge thing. Of course, it won't be a kill. Anyway, the guard is confused because it's fallen to the lower floor, so his pattern is not working. But we don't need to go back there. We can proceed to look for Dosan.
The half-dead rat hasn't broken yet. But give it time. He'll give me the tattoos. Not if I break him first.
These guards are talking here, wanting the tattoos. Of course, not understanding the danger involved. And now they are not talking anymore. We reach the master of tattoos himself, Dosan's. The conservatory, the source of the tattoo ink.
Oh, Dosan.
When I got here, the bandits seized me. They tried to make me give them the marks. I refused. Oh, Dosan's not worth much. But I have my honor. You must save me. Find the key to unlock these chains, and find the tools they stole from me.
He's not in the position to make any requests, I guess. We still need the third mark from him. So this level we have 3 objectives, and the extra objective that I used as a personal challenge, they will now count to get 1 extra token. So not using any item, not taking any damage, and not being detected in each of the 3 sections, of course, not all together. In that CL actually the darts count as items, so it's actually even harder than not using. So there's not much visibility for us, but we are in the darkness, so we don't need to worry much. Let's see if I can sneak below past him. The music kicks in, but shouldn't give us any problem. So here we have an empty room for some reason.
Are you out there?
And that was light.
Are you out there?
So not having any kills actually makes things harder.
Where did you go?
So you can see an artifact here. So I'll stick to the rooftops for now.
Hey, it's him.
I'm not sure what happened there. There's limited visibility, so we need to rely on the footsteps, on the torch. Across the blistering sand. We'll be back. And a sleeping guard, but we cannot actually go up. And here we could change costumes. I just continue using him for a while longer, but I want to show you the cardboard box. We already seen the ravenous insects.
Look, Dosan's tools are up there. I guess they were still hoping they could force Dosan to use them.
So we need to not be detected.
Closer. Get closer. We will find you.
Those close. I guess can use the cardboard box.
Somewhere else.
If you are moving in the cardboard box, the guard will notice, but if not, yeah, they won't. So let's see if there are other guards around. Yep. Cardboard box kill. Now we have a trap. Yeah. Darts kill us instantly, and we don't have a F.light to see where the traps are going, but if we keep this thing between us and the darts, of course, it won't be an issue. And we got not a scroll, but one of the 3 things we need. Dosan's tattoo needles without being detected. Let's see if there are more guards here. So the spores are still giving off an alarm for any guard nearby. So technically there are 3 ways. One below the desert, one in the middle, and also across the rooftops. If we can jump over. So here there's nothing. We have the equivalent of the gongs from the first level. And we can change again. I'll be back here in a second. First I'll get the keys.
That must be the jailer. Who knows what he did to Dosan to try to make him cooperate.
So now there's a sniper. And we could just kill him, but I'll do the stealth path, which is more interesting. So here's this, if you kill guards, of course, there's not much mystery in the level. Instead, if you want to go around them, you'll discover the true solution to the puzzle. So we can just steal the key, and this is the stealth option. Pickpocket the key.
Hello, little man.
And now
We'll find you.
need to go back. Not easy, but of course you would miss that, all of that, if you just kill everyone. There's another sniper actually down here, which was the reason why I went around. But anyway, we got the keys, and there's something else here. So there's an extra, apparently a useless room with this guard. A stationary guard with long vision cones is actually very hard to sneak by because it will turn in just a second. So it's a cool character model in the dark. I think the best option is to make a pit stop in that. So the issue with the night vision goggles is that they will go below the floor here. So here we are below the desert with a trap. I don't know if it can be avoided because there are the darts exactly there, so I don't think there's time. Maybe from the other side there's time to jump. Anyway, here we have more traps, more guards, a checkpoint, but I'll get back to this we'll get back to that room. Also, I almost missed an artifact. We'll below us there's the third object, so we could just go back. So you don't really need to backtrack as I'm going to do now. You can just do the upper path first and then the lower path. But there's still something in the middle that I missed. Also, I want to show you something extra. We have a room with guards and 2 dogs actually. So I changed equipment. I want to try Fungal Spores dogs. And we got a triple kill. And the terrorized guard.
We're coming for you.
Not sure who's calling. Probably another guard hearing the noise. Anyway, there seems to be nothing. Instead, there's a very hidden scroll. But we can also do the same. Actually, I show you. You can also drop in and start fighting with the Path of Might.
Hey, it's him. We're coming for you. Don't let him get away here. Here, move it.
But of course it's not easy. But now I'm going to do Path of Silence. I don't think I'll need. So doing this without objects now, it's actually very hard. So first I need to turn off the lights. Last time I played actually in the test round, the 2 guards were facing each other, which made everything even harder. Because they were both.
He must be somewhere else.
Yeah, like this. If I drop to the right, of course the dogs are sleeping, but I cannot jump over them. And if I try to do, to jump, I'm pressing left and A to jump left, but the ninja will go up instead. So the only way was to break the light, get the scroll.
I have failed. In the greenhouse, in the beds of dry dirt, the flowers are dead. I check them all and find just one petal left. A fly chews it. I crush the insect with my fingers and feel childish.
So now, these guards are apparently immune to the Dusk Moths. So the only way to do this without, it seems that you cannot jump. Of course, you cannot jump over them. So it seems that the only way to do this, if I land on a slope, I just get pushed back. But the only way to do this without noisemakers, without distractions, is probably to get spotted, because for a second. Because I don't see how you can get them away. Also, if there are 2 of them, they would just, one of them would get to check, making things even harder. So now that I got them all where I want, hopefully they won't look up. Just waiting for both to go look the other way, but of course I'm out. And I lost my chance. And I'm back with Dusk Moths and smoke bombs. Although, yeah, the jump is quite tricky. And now I have them in a different position though. Still need to get them away. And they're still
Are you up there?
immune to Dusk Moths. Okay, so getting spotted sometimes it's the best option because they are both checking there. I'll just use smoke bomb, but yeah, getting out without items is quite, and without killing is quite hard. Which makes sense, it would limit the complexity of the puzzle if there would be always a way to get out without items, without killing anyone. But anyway, you can always, if you do want to do that, you can always reload and the token will still be considered taken. So now I'll change back to a more standard costume. I get the Path of Silence with the cardboard box and flaps. So now we got the third scroll, we still missed the second, and we still need to recover the Sumi, which in game is the flowers giving the ink, but in our world it's just the name of the ink stick, in Japanese traditional calligraphy that they still use. So we got rid of the guards, but we still have traps. I missed this room, but there's just an artifact. Let's test the distraction flare with these guards.
Leave alone, little man.
What was that? Interesting. So I'm back here with weird way to treat curves. Guess they mentioned that domes were very hard with their engine, so they just did many small lines. Approximation from a circle. But the interesting thing is that if I run, for some reason, I die. That's weird. Anyway, we're back here, got the artifact. And I won't run in a corner. I wonder if it came from another level. The rugged surfaces of the breeze actually come at a price. The less realistic lines of the Hessian complex probably easier for the engine. So I've added on purpose go back down because you have the choice initially to go up or down.
Yes, come closer.
I also ignore this part.
I've never seen a storm this bad. It's so thick that I keep seeing figures in the gusts.
Even here the bandits are actually the same ilk of the guards. I guess dealing with the ninja would make this to anyone. So we got finally the artifact that I missed, that I saw a while ago. And here, luckily, I cannot run in the corner and get destroyed. But I don't think I can reach this. So I guess I use a distraction flare just to be safe. Although,
He must
Yeah.
be somewhere else.
oops, that was close. Not sure if it's a good idea Of course he's not watching, so...
Hey, I see him.
Yeah, it's hard to jump over guards, which are not moving.
Get closer. What? Hey, it's him. Seeing figures.
So you can see that I had to avoid the guard below us, because without, with these objects, would not have been able to go by him. So playing without a sword is much harder, of course. But now I can go back to Dosan. Here there's the path connecting all the way to here. So we'll see both up and down both ways. But first, as I said, we want to free him, because we got the keys. Clay was nice enough to let us free Master Tattoo Artist, but of course there's nothing else to say for the Sumi, so Dosan will suffer, at least not up there anymore. If we restart the checkpoint actually. So I went back to get another checkpoint and then back here with Dosan free, and you can see that every time we load you will fall from the thing again. Also Aura is placed exactly where we are, as if she were a shadow. But anyway, we need to find the Sumi, the flowers producing the magical ink, or if you want to be less poetic, the stick of ink.
Closer. Get closer.
And just break this light in case I need to go back here later. So now we have these traps, which are not an issue aside from the noise they make.
What was that?
So
He must be
I'm
somewhere.
trying to...
Was this already broken? He must be somewhere else.
Yeah. Got the kill. And now there's a vent going to the left, even more hidden than usual, deep below the desert. But yeah, we have a challenge room. So there's the usual room, but you can see that it's much more hidden. So just going around, you will not notice it. Also, the challenge room kicks things up a notch with plenty of traps, you can see here. So you might miss it, but there's a lever between those spikes. There's a lever here which makes things quite easy, aside from the insta-kill darts. We need to find a way to block those darts, but also there's that lever in the middle and those levers here. So we could actually just put them down manually, but if we hit this lever, now we free that lever and we activate those things. So now we cannot go back this way, and if we go back this way, there's a surprise dart, but we can still do it. We can still do this and solve the puzzle. Also, if we hit this one and just be very fast up here, we can still make it like this, but I want to show you the intended way to solve this puzzle. Those ropes actually activate darts. This lever will make the bombs go down. So the spikes are down, but now we have those traps. So we go back here. You get the spikes up, but the mines are gone, except from one for some reason. Didn't trigger, but that way is now locked. Okay, now it triggered. Weird, but we cannot go back there. But unfortunately we need to trigger this trap. If we just trigger the rope like this, we're safe. And now, finally, the spikes have gone down and there are no more mines. So, of course, it was much easier just to destroy the mines ourselves with the bamboo darts. But anyway, the result is the same. The door, that door is closed, so we can safely get the screw.
In the sand outside the fortress, I kneel. The blade in my hand shakes. I hold it to my chest, where the shame chokes me. I crave relief, but I force myself to drop the blade.
So, of course, Clay intended for us to get this, to go this way second, and to get the key last, as to avoid also that weird reloading thing. And here we see the whole confession. No more haikus. At this point, as I realized that the flowers were left abandoned and they died, in case the clan is in danger in the future, there's no more ink to protect it. So that's why we found a different way. So now we have a trap, pressure plate, and just go right by here. Reminds me of the original Prince of Persia. I'll just destroy the light to be safe.
Come closer. Are you? Hey, there he is.
Oops, wrong. As long as we initiate the press B outside of their cone of vision, they're not punished. So I meant to use the cardboard box, which works perfectly. So we can choose between traps and guards, and I didn't duck time. I should fair sight to see where the traps are.
The Sumi is usually kept underground, in an airtight chamber. A chamber just like this one.
So, cardboard box, flares, they'll try not to use them. So we have an exploding vase here.
We got him.
Luckily, that part distracted him.
We will find you.
Oh, that almost got me.
That wasn't the wind.
Yeah, that wasn't the wind. Cannot jump up here. I'm safe.
When did this break?
So there is an opening below us.
Was this already broken?
So it seems that you can go through here to get the Sumi. But there's a crate. So I'll just go around so they can reset
We will find you.
if that card moves. While they're resetting, I'll go back here and you can see that we are back to the point where I said,
Hold up. We still need to get the ink.
yeah, Aura is not happy, but we can actually avoid this trap only coming from this side. From that side it was death, but we could have just gone around. So even taking the higher path, we could have just gone around here and go back this way. So if we instead come from the left, from the bottom, we can just go up here and get the keys. Interestingly, this guard is actually in a very bad position for us. So, and this trap is actually quite annoying. So I guess if you go from the left, it's actually easier. Anyway, back here with the lights turned off, so we need to go down without being detected. I guess it's best, yeah, it's best just to destroy all the lights, and trying to do this without extra items. Though I guess it would be an interesting challenge for the New Game Plus, not use any darts. We need to race this thing down, and now we get checkpoint and this one, which is not a scroll, so they did a different asset. Attention to detail. So now I have this distraction flare. Let's see how useful it is against. Cannot actually throw it very far. Ooh. Doesn't seem particularly helpful. If they're not looking this way, the flare is not particularly helpful. Unless they have night vision goggles. I don't think I've showed it. You can disable the guard. Otherwise it's just like a worse noise. I guess it has more range, but having more range is not helpful if the guard is not looking towards you.
Maybe he fled.
So we can go back and just go back to the traditional tire. So we now get the. Didn't show you these traps. Not sure if I showed you. If I use the fungal spores. Too far from those guards where you can just. Yep.
One has fallen.
One dead, the one terrorized. The fungal spores only kill 2. But terrorize the guards. The right guard should not be able to sound the alarm, even though again the music's kick in, so there's a different trigger for the music and for the actual things that happened. And I'm dead. Now we can finally go back to this. Didn't I destroy the light? Yes. If I didn't destroy the light, probably almost surely it would have gotten me, because I was making noise in full light. And now we can finally go back.
Flowers have been dead a year, maybe more. Azai knew about it. He must have. You must stop Azai. And that means I must give you the last mark.
It seems one enemy has been alerted. So I went back to check, and that attack exactly in front of the vision cones, it doesn't work. It shouldn't be possible to just jump in front of a guard without setting the alarm, but the delay of the alarm that usually works in favor of the player, in the case of Dosan, it's not as well thought out. So it makes sense that it doesn't work, but it follows Dosan's moveset follows different rules. Since he can jump so far with his attack, non-lethal takedown, even though no alarm, no point penalty appears during game, the final score, it keeps track of it. So that's something they changed, probably not on purpose, with the DLC and thus with Dosan his style. Anyway, we have completed the Shattered Stronghold, and now we need to get the final Tabriz level, set to flight. The final mark protects you, and it's the only thing that can keep you alive as you escape Tabriz.
We can't just leave Dosan here. He deserves better than being left for the vultures.
And the commentary spoils this when you meet Dosan in chains in the level before. But another reason not to read commentary in first playthrough. So here with this cartoonish death, we escape the ninjas equipped with all the tech. Great introduction for the enemy of this lab.
Dosan should be laid to rest at home, in the shrine. I'm ashamed that we must leave him out here. Alone.
There's no time to cry over fallen Dosan. With another plot door here, the only thing that we can do is create a simple mound to remember.
Your trials are over, Dosan. I pray we're as brave when we stand before ours. Can you feel the effects of the final mark? Nobody has borne it for years. But the legends say that you'll move so quickly, it'll seem as if you vanished in thin air. I hope that's true. I can't see another way to get out of here alive.
So that door we saw before, you can open the crate. From the commentary, the final ninja tattoo ability changed a few times during development. It started as a straight teleport, became a mid-air super dash, then stopped time completely while letting the ninja move freely, and finally settled on the parabolic throwing teleport effect. Amazingly, the puzzle on this part of the level, for training the player in their own ability, remained largely unchanged between implementations.
Look at that. We'll never get through there. Unless...
Use the Mark of Serenity to escape.
We had to leave everything behind, except your darts. Let's hope that's enough to get out of here.
So, technically it's not necessary before, but it's necessary now. Also, it will not be possible to utilize stealth kill because I don't have the sword. For some reason, it's telling me. So yeah, you can see that the blades work differently, one side, the other. We just go through with one. Why?
Those things will have a harder time following us if we split up. I'll meet you outside the ruins. Be careful.
And after the excuse for Aura for ditching me, now we can have some fun. So our terrible enemy is not the smartest. Although I failed the first seal, which is escape the first Stalker without being seen, if that part wanted you to teach you to press Y, this part wants to teach you to stop time to teleport farther away. That was close. And now we get the key. Also, there's some momentum if you hit the blade from the corner. Now we see the new enemy in action. So if you are hidden, even though there's a circle resembling the sniffing dog circle, it's actually not smell, it's just vision. So I'll show you. Okay, they're not particularly smart, but they are quite fast. Just going to avoid them. If you get into this circle, they're going to investigate. They're, of course, moving quite fast. They have faster reflexes. And yeah, they have deadlier weapons. So they move fast. Well, they are ninjas. Much better weapons. But we can avoid them as any guard. Although their pattern is less predictable, as you can see. Now it makes sense to use fair sight, because between limited visibility and faster movement. So usually I would explore the left. In previous levels there would have been an artifact. These levels are different, and you just need to focus on avoiding those tech ninjas called Stalkers. So the artifact is actually here. Of course we can use traps to kill them. They will be very fast, so yeah, we can get them even with these things. Now before sound the alarm. They won't investigate. So to avoid making them too hard, they will not investigate. So I show you later. I'm not sure why. I guess he jumped. He jumped over the thing. But the bamboo darts actually here are very helpful. So while I wait, I'll pick up the scroll.
I have failed, but I cannot surrender. This era does not belong to us, but we can take from it. I have seen today's soldiers and the weapons they use. With these tools, we could adapt, and we could survive.
We listened to Azai's story. Now I'm going to do the stealth route. As you can see, it's much harder, of course, because they are not just rigidly checking one corner. They're even grappling and jumping. Yeah, but for some reason even if I slap them with the bamboo dart, they will not be able to see me. They will notice that I'm behind this thing only if they saw me enter the hiding place. So that's quite ridiculous, but it's also the only way to avoid frustration, because especially if one is just destroying the previous guards, which were more obstacles than enemies, now it's quite hard. So before I forget, let me show you. Now with the mark of Serenity, we could be able to bypass part of the level, which goes down, and just go up here, but we cannot. You can see that the whole building is considered a non-teleporting thing, so we are forced to go down. And we got the first seal. So we can see that the only way here is to teleport past or go down. And again, here there are traps. So if you pull that lever, all the darts will come down. What you can do is just stand here. Okay, so I almost did it, but of course the game expects you to use teleport to be safe, but it's not necessary. If you stop time, there's plenty of time to see the darts, and we cannot actually, it's too far to teleport directly, but so the hitbox with the darts is actually weird. That right foot would never have triggered anything else, but now I guess it was our Achilles heel. So here the window is quite tight, and the game really wants us to teleport. If we teleport when there's a hiding place, it will actually put us in the hiding place, which is convenient. But for some reason that trap stops there, and so even though it doesn't really make sense that it goes one way and not the other, now we can more or less safely move the lever actually. And now we need to bypass the bandits without taking any damage. We need to find a way past the bandits outpost. We change again. This was the buildings that was unapproachable before, and it's still not teleportable. Okay, now the final seal is actually kill 5 enemies using traps, but I guess it triggers only. Let me check. Yeah.
Show yourself.
Bandit apparently is quite happy because he thought that I did blow up instead of his friend. Or maybe he's happy even if
No trace, but we will find you.
even if the friend blew up. So we have can easily do the objective, but I want to first look for the stealth. So there was sniper, which I have no idea with the sand. So for me the most interesting thing is find the path, solve the puzzle, so find the path without touching anything, the ghost run. And here's the sniper, And now, not sure if I can.
I heard something.
The sniper will actually move here. And we have two options. So we can just use a bomb and kill him outright. Or we can teleport. So, of course, here this in the first level, this is the first level that games forces you to
He must be somewhere.
use the tools provided. We are not free to do what we want. We need to follow the rules. And the rules are teleporting. Also, the bypass of bandits without taking any damage is interesting because it's not actually a combat, just a combat thing. Just close. Stealth killer unavailable, so it's the first time that the game forces us to do something precise. Playstyle, so you can see that the door is closed. I can say I'm a fan, but the sniper here with the sandstorm is very hard to see. Actually, probably easier. Yeah, just go through here, and again, with the option destroy the light, make a sound, or just teleport past. Good thing the guards are deaf. So, snipers are not as dangerous now. Well, still dangerous. The sniper have very long range for this game. It's quite hard to find the right way. So there's not a difficulty selection, but you can pick your own difficulty by your playstyle. And even here that we can't use items and so on, it's still possible. And here we go, escape from the ruins.
We know.
And now that I did it, we'll just have some fun with the traps. Sunny just walks right into it. Yeah.
Show yourself.
And that was the sniper. So the guards are kindly standing
Are you up there?
in the perfect spot.
Hey, it's him.
The guards are standing in the perfect spot. Be killed. Let's see. This one comes around. Can ring these chimes. I don't think it's far enough.
Are you out there? Hey, hey.
So here you can use the chimes if they are far enough. Yes, they are. But of course, the guards already forgot about the traps. Wonder if it's going to walk right into them.
Maybe he fled.
Yeah, it was brilliant. And now only this guard and the snipers are left. So here, unfortunately, there are no traps around, and it's also the guard patrolling near the lever. Cannot do anything
What's that?
aside from distracting. The sniper is the perfect position to get destroyed, and of course
I heard that.
you can see that the count
He'll be back.
has reset. but also the guards still alive.
Maybe he fled. He's dead.
So the problem with using traps is that the guards are going to sound the alarm. So we have the last sniper with the traps above him, but
We're coming for you.
we cannot get the second guard. So not as straightforward as with the others. The most attentive of guards. Actually, they are bandits, not guards. But of course, that wasn't the way we were meant to come. So we cannot go back, aside from backing up the save manually. I cannot go back to the previous checkpoint. I'll just go around. But yeah, we could have gone through here. I had to go around for a stealth approach, but
I hear something. We will find you.
of course from this side
The wind covered his tracks.
it's actually much easier if I don't double press B for some reason. And we can just go around. So the other path was just optional, and we are directly here. Everything around was just to do it more stealthy.
He got someone.
I'm not sure if I did. If I went fast enough. But yeah. So by reloading, they won't be looking for me anymore. Just to be safe. This guard cannot see the body. Just to be safe, I leave the body here. Actually, no point bonuses for hiding the body when there's a trap kill. Anyway, we are back here. And there are spikes. But there's also a safe place here for some reason. And this door is locked. So I'm not sure if I can. Don't think I can do much. I can teleport here, but I'm afraid that I will save checkpoint, so I'll go back here. I don't think there's much to do if you need to use teleport there. You can skip this part, which is actually a good way of doing bonus paths. But anyway, this is the intended way, and we get back to Tech Ninjas, which apparently are still remember the pact with the bandits, or just the bandits avoid them. So we need to wait not only for the Stalker to look away, but also not get in the same circle. Actually, yeah, it's not enough time. Luckily, we have Mark of Serenity. luckily we have Mark of Serenity, so you think that we need to kill the Stalker and get the body on the trap, but there's also this stealth option which assumes that the bombs are very heavy. So if you don't want to kill anyone, you can just leave it here and move with this elaborate trap. And this time I'm sure that it's forcing you to use Mark of Serenity, so I guess challenge without items here, that is without Mark of Serenity, wouldn't work. It's understandable, it's a new mechanic, freshen things up, the price of a bit of freedom. The path to the hills, beyond lies the desert, and safety. So here there's our usual room. And this one is actually maybe the only one of the few rooms checkpoints, as it's big, leap, dodge and sprint. So you can see there are pressure plates to open the doors below. And if we press the lever, get spikes. And we cannot do anything from this side, so there's only one way. So we need to find a way to, as we saw before, we can just use the bombs, pressure plates. Here there's these strange walls. You cannot. The idea was to these walls, you cannot walk over them, but they won't damage you. So here we need to move past. And we get the first. So the scroll is down there. They still need to move on. Also the checkpoint was when we opened the first level. But we can ride this crate. Story-wise, as they are mental challenges, it makes sense that they are more convoluted to the point of being almost unfair. Of course, without a new power, we couldn't be able to do it. We cannot teleport through doors, so we need to open the door, stop time, and hide. So we can actually find the right thing. And now we can avoid the trap. It's a new way. Clay shows us power we got using all the traps that would have been impossible. Also, if you these things respawn, so you will not be locked out. Fortunately, we saw earlier that the lever activates spikes, and the spikes will destroy the bombs. So we need to move fast. The pressure plates were just, in case you got stuck, you can just walk over there and go back. You open the previous door, not this one.
But I must call one last student to bear the mark. The man who should have replaced me must instead sacrifice himself for me. And for us all.
Hey, that's us. So, the story is more or less complete. Up here there's nothing, but there's a secret, a second way, second access, if you want to skip that part. With just the Stalker, right? So we need to sneak past the Stalkers. We already did the seal, we just need to look for our last scroll. Sneak past the Stalkers, you can go up. Exploration is rewarded. But yeah, even though the chain was just for fact, so the trap is connected to the second one. So if we just try to do this, we'll die. Well, from the darts or from the spikes. Anyway, the idea is just to teleport out of the way. Now we have the Stalkers. So yeah, the other route is just traps. If we want to kill them, this is the other path, and we almost missed the scroll.
When the night falls, I pick up my blade and I turn on the bandits. I kill 10, 20 before they start to flee. And then I walk outside and collapse. The shame stays in my gut, and I accept it. I rest until I have the strength to go home, to lie, and to lead. The crescent moon cuts. I sink into the ground and wish the sands away.
His confession? It sounded more like a death poem.
So while the death poem is a Japanese custom to, well, write a poem before dying, as I guess people just live their life as poetry, as actors, but we can see that the Stalkers are not much smarter than the average Joe, the average bandit, and also they will not sound the alarm. Death machines do not care about alarms. So here the other path, which is not actually easier, it's faster, but yeah, but there's the Stalker right there. Anyway, we have again multiple paths. You can just skip past them or just use the traps if we wanted. Can take the other route. Though now we need to be careful. Yeah, they can grapple too. Of course, we can always teleport out of the way. The Stalker got distracted by herself. The new noise takes priority. They have short-term memories. In this, these guards have short-term memories. I wanted her to come here to get this trap, but guess didn't work out. And yeah, if you forget to use First Sight, I will catch you. So now they are checking over here. Can stay as much as we like. We'll just crumble at the end. Luckily outside their circle they still have the same awareness of the other guards.
So that's what Azai's up to. Lying to us, hiding his mistakes, and trying to make us more like those things. You know what you must do. Go back to your master and kill him.
Ora is not very nice. In the end they're still colleagues, even though using strange tech. And we alerted everyone basically because everything is crumbling, falling down. So it makes no difference from the points perspective, and detective distracted are the same, but in principle points and objectives are interesting because they give a hint how the developer meant us to play the game. Instead, weird challenges like not using any item is not technically possible. I mean, it's not accounted for. A ghost playthrough instead, it's possible.
We're almost there. When you meet your friends, your master, will you be ready? Here we are. I don't think anyone will be pleased to see us.
And we're back home. Hisomujo, literally the place of Clan Hisomu. We confront Azai, but that's for next time. To conclude this video, let's go back to set to flight and analyze a bit more in detail how the Stalkers react to the ninja. So first you can see that they're not particularly smart. They're not smarter than the average guard, so you can keep them in traps, but they are much faster. So I'm getting discovered on purpose to see also how far they will pursue me. Unlike the other guards, they will follow you well beyond their platform. That tech ninja stops, but if we provoke them again, they will. Also, Stalkers are immune to stealth kills. They need to be disabled first, like Elite Guard. Yeah. So we can also try to fight them directly, like the guards, but they won't go down that easily. Actually, they still run, and yeah, that was a fraction of a second. But I don't have my sword now. And sooner or later they will get a shot. And here instead you can see that the AI is temporarily broken, but after that it runs into the vent, reminding me of the slug cat in Rain World. So you feel like the prey when the predator crawls into your hiding spot. But when we are actually properly hiding in a officially sanctioned by Clay hiding place, the priority is to keep the hiding place for the players. So as long as I remain there, I can do anything I want. So the most efficient tactic is to throw bamboo darts at them, and all the gadgets in the world cannot do anything to catch me. So I'm going to spam the darts, and the bad guys will slowly go away. Next time we'll finish the game, discuss the story, and take a look at New Game Plus. For now, thank you very much for watching. Take care.